Hey everybody, I'm here with Michael Wilhoite. Mike's a Highland Park grad and a Washburn University grad. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Justin.
So, Mike, you were born in Manhattan, Kansas. You transferred to Highland Park your senior year. What made you come to Highland Park?
The situation I was going through at Manhattan at the time, just felt like it wasn't a situation conducive to growth. For me at that time, I was a junior in high school, felt like I was going backwards instead of forwards. Uh, we were actually at a game. I was playing a game on JV as a junior at Manhattan. Uh, After the game, my dad said he seen one of his old friends, and it was Coach Darding, who coached at Highland Park. And so they talked, and then me and my dad talked, and this was early in the season. So, we had a whole season to go through, and we went through it, and conversations just kept going, and with my dad and with my mom, and we just felt like it was best that, for the way I wanted to go and the way I wanted to grow, the best place for me to go to was Highland Park at the time. Oh, I can't hear you now. I think you muted it.
My bad.
All good.
So, your 1 year at Highland Park, you guys, football-wise, had a big season. You were guys, Najee Shinsky and Faru Ambam, and you guys were like the three big seniors of that team. You got them back to the state tournament. You guys went down to Liberal. That game didn't go as you guys had planned. But you had a pick six against Seaman in the end zone that you returned 101 yards to get the Scots back to the state tournament. What can you recall about that play?
Running as fast as I can. Felt like it took forever for me to get to the end zone. It was an easy read. I was staring at the quarterback. I watched him stare his man down, broke on the ball. Never thought about it at all. Just playing ball and took off running and was just running as fast as I can. I remember getting to the end zone and I don't even think I could hear anything at the time. But when I got to the end zone, I turned around and looked at everybody. I just remember seeing my brother Kyle, all the fans going crazy. It was a great feeling. At that point, I knew Highland Park hadn't been to the playoffs in a long time, and it was on that game, and I knew it was a big game, and so I was just happy to do something great for the school, for my friends, and so it was a great opportunity. It was just a great, opportunity to help other people accomplish what they want to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure I was a ball boy that game. Me and my cousin Tyler, because you caught it and we tried to run the whole length of the field with you.
That's awesome.
That's a play, a Highland Park football play that I'll remember the rest of my life.
I love it.
You played basketball that 1 year at Highland Park. What can you say about playing for Coach Darding basketball wise?
It isn't about likes. You learn quick, and now as a coach, is how I approach the way I coach. I really don't care if you like me. I'm not in it for that. I'm not really here to like you. I'm here to respect you. You should respect me. We're here to work. And the love and trust that build is from that respect. But it isn't from, are you telling me what I want to hear? You're doing what I want you to do. It's because we're both on a path to accomplish something great, and we're willing to sacrifice and fight about it and work at it and push each other at it and compete at it. And that's to me what made Coach D great. I didn't love him. I didn't like him. And I learned to love him, and I learned to respect him and respected him more than probably any other coach I've ever had. So he was hard on me. He pushed me, and it wasn't about likes. It was about respect, and that's Coach D, and that's why he has so many people who do love him.
In that 1 year at Highland Park, when you showed up, you were kind of like an outsider. You come from Manhattan, and then you kind of took on that role really stepped in to be a leader on the football and basketball team for 1 year. Your 1 year there.
Yeah. Funny you say that. Looking back, I wish I'd have been a better leader. Wish we'd have won more games in basketball and football. That's what Coach D had asked me to be, and we didn't accomplish what I was there to accomplish and what the standard was. So I feel like I could have led better. I learned a lot from it. Met a lot of great people, played with great dudes, still friends with a lot of guys that I play with. That class was phenomenal. A lot of guys graduated. A lot of guys went on to be successes in other avenues. And just thankful that I got to be a part of it. Thankful that I got to be a student of Coach D and a leader in a program that has been so successful and has accomplished so much.
Yes. After Highland Park, you ended up going to Washburn. What was it with Washburn that made you want to go there?
Coach Sherd. Not a lot, but a few coaches had sat in my living room with my grandparents, with my parents in Topeka. And he was one of the coaches that sat in my living room, and we felt like it was genuine. We enjoyed talking to him. We connected with him. And on the other side of that, I had a lot of advice, a lot of people I was communicating with and talking to, getting opinions from. One of them be Coach D, Coach Darting. And you know what's funny? I remembered for a long time what he said to me, and it was really pivotal in me choosing football and Washburn. And now that I'm older, I can't remember. But he was a big reason in the conversation I had with him, pushed me towards Washburn. My parents they really enjoyed Sherd. I couldn't afford to walk on at KU or K-State. And if I went to JUCO, they were worried I'd get lost in the system. So a lot of people, a lot of conversations, a lot of opinions from others that influenced me, that helped me make that decision. If it had been up to me, I probably would have made the wrong decision or would have made a different decision. And luckily, I got a lot of good people around me pushing me in the right direction and have been my whole life.
So I like how you said about the JUCO, because a lot of people get lost in the JUCO system. Because, I mean, there's so many JUCOs out there just in the state of Kansas that if you pick the wrong JUCO, you get lost in the system, and you got to make sure you pick the right JUCO.
No doubt. JUCO's tough. JUCO has so many good players, and during my time, with only having 12 in-state guys, and I don't know what it is now. I know it's different, but it was just a lot of good players, man. And, you could go there for a year and they get somebody better the next year, an All-American.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of those JUCOs have affiliations with those big schools, so they have to play certain guys and things like that. So I understood what it was, and I wasn't going to complain or moan about it. I was going to go either succeed in it or go somewhere else, and I went somewhere else. And but shout out to all those out there who've made it out of JUCO, because a lot of guys have, and those are special people for sure.
So your first year at Washburn, you redshirted, and a lot of people look at that redshirt season the wrong way. You kind of, you could take it and do your most with it. You can get in the weight room, get in the classroom, get bigger and get smarter. That's the redshirt. That's what it's there for. And a lot of people just think it's the coach saying, "Oh, you're not good enough to play."
Yeah. For me, I just have always been on the go. I've always been active. I've always been a worker. I developed some good habits at Manhattan High School, lifting weights. I had some really good friends that pushed me in the right direction in terms of working out and training, and would always make sure that I was getting my work in and picking me up and taking me. So then I just created good habits. I had friends that showed me the way, and I listened and I watched and I put them into my own game. And So when I got to Washburn, nothing changed. I just went to work, and I knew I had no choice. And I mean, for me, all I've ever loved, I mean, not all I've ever loved, but one of the biggest things in my life has always been football. And I knew in order to be great at football, I had to work out. And so I worked out, and I worked out nonstop that freshman year. I worked out in the spring. I went there early, and I just pushed myself, and then all of a sudden I was competing. Now I'm with sophomores and juniors that are at Washburn that are played or started. Now it's competition. Now it's me versus you. Can I beat you? And so those are the things I thrive on. I think I thrive on football and I thrive on competition, and that's all that was to me. And and I had good people point me in the right direction.
Then your next year, '06, was your redshirt freshman year. They moved you from free safety to outside linebacker. You had 6 tackles, 4 solos. But then the next year is really when you started, taking off. You started 12 games. You had 58 tackles, 33 solo tackles. And you were also the first Ichabod to return an interception for a touchdown in a postseason game, 27 yards against West Texas A&M.
Oh. Yep. My freshman and sophomore year was a struggle. I put a lot of work in my freshman year. Put a lot of work in my sophomore year. I remember waking up my sophomore year every day at 5:30, working out with a good buddy of mine, Greg Miller, and he would meet me there every morning. And I grew. I put the work in, and I grew, and I was eyes wide open as a redshirt freshman, and I was looking around and paying attention to what was going on around me and the things I needed to do better, the things I needed to improve my game, people I needed to compete with and beat out, and I locked into it, and I got better. I had some good teammates to compete with, some good people that I was able to watch. Kerry Williams, Fletcher Terrell. I was able to watch these guys and see their work ethic. I had guys around me, Joe Hastings, Zach Watkins, that were really good players. More names than I can say. And at a certain point, you got no choice but to get better. And if you ain't gonna get better, you're not gonna play. And all these guys were my friends and my inspirations, my buddies. And I'm like, man, I gotta play. And like I said, I thrive on football and competition. And once again, I had people to look up to and watch and study. And then I had competition standing right next to me, and I had football standing on the other side. And it was like, well, I'm all into this. And so I grew. And as I grew as a person, as a football player, I got to play more and have some success.
And then I like how you say that, because your junior year, you've started all 11 games where you had 57 tackles, 27 of those solo, and you're an honorable mention all MIAA honors.
Yeah, still to this day, it bothers me that that's all it was. Not that I was better than that, but to say that I wish I was better than that. Again, just ultimate competitor. Thankful for the accomplishments I have gotten in college, but always wanted to do more. And again, always wanted to win more games. We never won as many games as you would like to. But again, I had good people around me. I was working hard. I was competing. I love ball. And so I was putting everything into it. And only thing I can say now is wish I would have won more games with my guys.
Now, also in '08, you guys played at Missouri State, where you got to go play in front of your brother Kyle. And you guys won that game 35-27, where you had 2 solo tackles and 2 assisted tackles. So that's a big-time game for you guys, because that's a Division I opponent, and you guys went to their house and you beat them at their house.
Yeah, that was one of the funnest games I'll ever remember. That was a phenomenal atmosphere. I think it was maybe the second game of the season. So the energy was high in the stadium. I think we were both 1-0. They had a pretty good quarterback at the time. that has some talented players, and my brother's in the stands, and he goes there, and he's sitting with, I think it was my family or his family. It might have been both, cheering us on against his own college and stuff. And that was a fun game. I had another buddy that played a really good game. He was younger than me, and he had some great plays. So it's cool to see him make plays, us win that game as a program, as a school, to overcome that challenge. It was all phenomenal. That was one of my favorite games for sure. A great win for the Ichabods, and anytime I get to perform with my brother there, it's always a fun atmosphere for me.
And then the next year you missed the whole season with the injury. So what's kind of going through your mind? Because that was supposed to be your senior year, then you get hurt and you got to miss the whole season.
Frustration, anger, sadness, a lot of emotion. I was very upset. I was trying really hard to play. I remember I worked really hard that winter. I remember I had worked at Red Lobster for years, and every Christmas break I'd work a lot and get a lot of hours in and make good money. And that Christmas break, I told him, I said, I'm not going to work much because I'm going to train. I'm going to go straight to training, and I did. And this was right after the season, and I trained hard. And I remember pretty soon my shin started hurting when I was running. And I remember at the school we're running 60s, and my shins are hurting so bad that I'm like 15 yards behind everybody, and that never happened. And I could just barely push. And I remember coaches coming over to me like, "What's going on?" And me just being like, my legs is hurting, and nobody knew what was going on, and it just kept happening. Well, anyway, I got the scan that said I had stress fractures in both shins, and man, it was the most painful thing I ever been through. And so I was frustrated. I was angry. I took off like the whole summer, came back to play in training camp, was probably overweight just from not being able to run, and got out there, man, and shin started hurting again. And I remember just being hurt that I went through school all these years with these guys, and now I can't finish my year with them. It was heartbreaking. And next thing you know, Joe Hastings got hurt, and Joe got hurt, I think, in the second game of the season. And I knew he was going to come back, and when I knew he was going to sit out that year and come back, it made my decision easy to sit out and come back. I was like, I got my guy, I got a partner, I got somebody who I can lean on and who can lean on me. And so a lot of emotions at the time. Ended up perfect, as God always does. So the way it ended up was the way it was supposed to, and thankful that it did. Wish I could have skipped the pain, but sometimes that's part of it.
You came back that next season after that, and you had your best season ever as an Ichabod. You started all 12 games. You had 81 tackles, 44 solos, 2.5 sacks. Like that was your biggest year as an Ichabod, and it was coming off an injury.
Again, I went to work. I was hurt. I was sad. Heartbroken. And then when I found out I was going to be able to take on this challenge and go through this adventure with Joe, it was, let's go. And so I went to work, and I gained weight. I gained weight the right way. I met another buddy of mine, Vinny, who was into nutrition and into dieting and into helping people grow physically. And he set me up with the diet. He set me up with the vitamins, showed me my way. I still live by a lot of the same habits that he taught me back then, my senior year in college. So we got together. He set me up with workouts and kind of helped me train the right way without injuring myself or further and postponing my return. And so I went to work, man, and when I came back that next year, I was ready to roll. no, you know, and I had some other people that I met that helped me with my orthotics. So again, go back to the same three things, man. I had people around me that was helping me with my feet and my shins. I had people around me that was helping me with my diet and my training. And then I had, you know, my best friend Joe standing next to me, who I was just leaning on the whole time, and who's pushing me and I'm pushing him, and football and competition. So
And I like how you just said that, the right people around you. You've
yeah,
always had the right people around you, and you kind of weeded out the bad and kept the good around you, which is actually really important. It says you played 6 different positions at Washburn.
I don't know who said that. That's false. I've been trying to rectify this a long time. I don't know how I could do it. But
Well, you got free safety and outside linebacker. There's 2.
yeah, I
I think
played
you're
6
wrong.
different positions in high
Punt return.
school. You know, and I wouldn't even say I played those 6 different positions by choice. I would say this is how it worked out. But in college, yeah, 2 positions was it, and that was about all I needed.
After college, you went undrafted in the 2011 draft, and then you went up and played a season in the UFL with the Omaha Nighthawks. What was that one season in Omaha like?
Phenomenal. You talk about growth in so many ways. Again, it was incredible. The people I was around, the teammates. I had guys that had played and started 8 years straight in the NFL, and now they're playing in the UFL with me. I had guys that were 6 overall draft picks in the first round. I had guys, Eric Crouch, Maurice Claret, Jeremiah Masoli, Pat Thomas. I mean, you could name all these different people, and all of them were just instruments in growth for me in all different types of ways, in spiritual and football and professionalism and humbleness. They were showing me it all, and I was just soaking it in. And it's why I'm a big advocator now for the UFL. I think the UFL is needed. I think these leagues that aren't in the NFL are needed. And I don't know how to maintain it or keep it going, but I think that it's phenomenal that we got one right now, and I think that it's one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life.
Well, I also think they got the right people running the one that's now. So there's a lot of money back in that thing. You got a phone call on December 14th, 2011, that you were getting signed to the 49ers practice squad. What went through you when you found out that they wanted you?
I think I was numb. I remember I was at home and at my mom's house. At the time I lived in my mom's house, I went straight to my mom's room and hugged her. And like I don't know I don't think I cried, but I was like close. And I remember just being like shook, like I can't believe this just happened. I can't believe I'm gonna get this opportunity. Once I got the opportunity, it was mine for the taking.
You know, you kind of play, whether not just football, but you play a sport your whole life, hoping that you're good enough to go to the pros or you're good enough to play in the professional ranks. You got that chance with the 49ers. They gave you that big break. Your first year, you played you were on the practice squad that whole year, and then you got waived for the final roster cuts of the 2012 preseason. So what kind of went through your head right then when you got cut at the end of preseason? Because you got
Immediately I was
signed right back to the practice squad, right?
Yep. So immediately I was frustrated and angry. Felt like I should have made it. Then I digested it and I went to work. Again, I had a lot of teammates telling me just keep working. stay the course, keep working hard. Your time's coming. They could all see it, and it helped me persevere, gave me confidence, gave me motivation to keep on pushing, and eventually, things worked out in my favor, and I took advantage of the opportunity. Was ready. I was working the whole time I was sitting. So when the time came to stand up, I was ready to go. And I got the opportunity, and I did.
You were on the practice squad for 12 weeks, and then you finally, like you just said, you finally got that call up to the active roster. You played in 5 games that year, had 11 tackles, but the biggest game was you got to play in the big one, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, incredible opportunity. What a phenomenal game to be a part of, right? And the year I got to be a part of it, to be a part of such an incredible defense for one, incredible organization in the Niners, incredible team, and just the guys I was playing with, offense and defensively, the talent that we had, the toughness, discipline, everything we had, and then to be playing a team that had all those same things. With Ray Lewis it being his last year, Ed Reed is coming to the end for him, and they got so many talented players at that time. Anquan Bolden was a monster, and then the toughness they had, the professionalism they had. Again, so many things to be learned, and what an opportunity to be a part of a game and a part of a celebration. And man, just got to get back. Just got to get back. That's what I want. And so tough to get there. Thankful that I got the opportunity. Love, reminiscing with guys I play with and going over the stories and things like that. But just got to get back, man, so I can win one.
Now, you were a special teams captain of that Super Bowl too, right?
Yes, I was. That's funny you said that. I forgot all about that. I was a special teams captain in that game.
That's
Or was it that game? Maybe it wasn't that game. Maybe it was the NFC Championship.
It was one of those games.
It might have been the NFC. I think it was the NFC Championship against Atlanta. That's what it was.
But that's still kind of crazy because, I mean, you only played in 5 total games that whole season.
Yeah. Again, I had teammates that respected me. They saw me working while I was sitting. They saw me putting in work and doing extra, showing up early, staying late, and being locked into what I needed to do. And I think that they, with their excitement and energy from me getting to play, I think that Coach wanted to celebrate that and give me an opportunity. And again, that shout out to my teammates and my coaches for believing in me and appreciating the work that I was putting in.
Then your next year in 2013, you also recorded a tackle in the Super Bowl. So that's your next year in 2013. You guys played 16 games. You started 2 of them. You had 34 tackles. 32 of those were solos. And you had 13 tackles all solo against the Texans. Like that's pretty crazy. And then the next year, Then the next year in 2014, you guys played in 16 games. You started all 16. You had 87 tackles, 67 solos, and you recorded your first interception off of Eli Manning.
Yeah. Those were 2 of the funnest years of my life, honestly. Teammates were phenomenal. Some of my best friends still to this day. We won a lot of games, played with a lot of great players, learned from a lot of great coaches, and really just enjoyed my opportunity to be a part of that organization and worked as hard as I could, played as hard as I could, and that's all I could do at that time. But you know, had a lot of success and had a lot of good teammates around me to help me get that.
The next year in 2015, you played in 12 games, started in 12 games. You went through a 3-week stretch where you had 13 tackles against Seattle, 13 tackles against Baltimore, 16 tackles against the Giants. Like, those are big numbers for NFL games.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I will say this. If I remember correctly, we might have won one out of those 3 games. So
I didn't write down the scores. I could have.
I remember at that time being like, man, I'm making having a lot of tackles and production, but I also remember that time being like, man, we got to win games and I got to make better plays. I got to make more essential tackles. So,
I thought I wrote down the scores. I only wrote down the dates.
Nah, it's good. I mean, again, super thankful for the opportunity to play in those games at all. It doesn't happen for everybody. The guy I'm playing next to, Navarro Bowman, in my opinion, at his time, one of the best there is. I'm playing with a bunch of guys on the D line that are great players in their own right, and again, had great coaches, had a great linebacker coach at the time, and he helped me grow a lot, pushed me in the right directions, helped me, what to see, where to align, how to stack and fall back, just a lot of keys to just being a linebacker, angles, long stride to short stride. He helped me build a foundation that helped me make a lot of those plays. So, again, thankful to the people around me that helped me be successful for those 3 games alone, as it is, whether we won or lost.
Now, it was Navarro Bowman. Was there Patrick Willis? Did you have Alden Smith? Was there, wasn't he?
Yep.
From the zoo. You guys had a really strong defense, and you were able to start games next to some Hall of Fame caliber players. Then 2016, you had made 6 starts. You had 55 tackles. And then in 2017, you left. You were a free agent. Ended up signing with Seattle. Was there more offers than just Seattle, or was Seattle kind of like, I'm just going to stay on this side of the country?
There were a couple more. They were the ones that were serious. I felt at the time. I had played them a lot, been a lot of wars with them, had a lot of respect for what they did, how they did it, a lot of respect for Pete Carroll, and was a big fan of Mike Barrow, the linebacker coach there at the time. And so it just was a good situation. And then I got to stay on the West Coast, and that helped me in where I was in my life at the time, and got to be a part of one of the best organizations of that era, really.
Now, that was the Legion of Doom, Seattle. So you started 9 games out of 14. You had 30 tackles, 21 of those being solo. That ended up being your last year playing in the NFL, correct?
Yes, sir.
So after that season, did you think it was done playing-wise, or what was going through your head in the offseason?
Actually, I felt like that year in Seattle, I didn't have a great year. Just wasn't the type of player I had been the past couple of years, and so I committed to training. And so it was right after the season end, I went right to work, and I went to the best trainers and worked with them and killed myself, just tried to make sure that when I got that opportunity next fall, I was going to be in the best shape of my life. And I felt like I was, honestly. My brother, Colin, had come to stay with me, was training with me for 6 weeks in that summer. August came around, hadn't got a call. September rolled around, hadn't got a call. And I kind of just started to feel like, okay, Maybe it's just time to do something else. And the rest of that season went by and stayed in shape. I got a workout from the Niners, went to it, was okay. That season ended. It got to about January. I started exploring different avenues in terms of career-wise, insurance, real estate, and got an opportunity to do some insurance and do something else. And nothing had happened with the NFL. And so I said, okay, it's time for me to. So I called my agent and I said, hey, let everybody know if anybody calls, I'm done. And I'm going to find another avenue. And that was my mindset.
Insurance is quite different from crashing heads in the NFL.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you end up going into coaching. What was it that made you want to get into coaching?
Honestly, the number one reason I'm sitting at home in 2018 during that season when I didn't get a call, and I wanted to be a part of football. I wanted to be a part of the NFL. I didn't know what way, how to do it. I just wanted to be a part. Then the next thing was it gets to January, February, and I'm sitting at home thinking, man, I got all this football knowledge, all this NFL knowledge, and not even football, but just NFL knowledge, how to overcome adversities that are going to strike, how to handle the pressures that come with the NFL, how to handle just going through the rigors of it, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. And so I said, I got all this knowledge and I'm just sitting here. I can't give it to nobody. And so I said, if I get into coaching, I can give that away. And so I had a lot of people tell me while I was playing and stuff that I should get into coaching. And, especially as I was finishing up, Mike, you should get into coaching. You should get into coaching. And I never wanted to. But then when I got home, when I'm sitting at home and I know I got all this stuff in my head that I could tell somebody and help somebody else with, I said, man, I got to give this away. And so made a few phone calls. Again, Mike Barrow, who I mentioned earlier, he was an angel for me, reached out to some people for me. Next thing I know, I was coaching with the Saints.
Yeah, that first year in 2019, you were the Saints special team assistant. And then the next year after that, you became a defensive assistant. Those 2 years in New Orleans, you were both with Sean Payton, correct?
Yes.
And that's kind of like a connection that you kind of that's been a pretty good connection for you.
Yeah. Thankful to him. He's given me some great opportunities just to be in the facility every day and watch him go to work and get to sit in staff meetings and hear him communicate and how he communicates and the questions he's asking and the comments he's making. Thankful to have had the opportunity to work with him in 2 separate places, 2 different times. And, now let's win.
And then you went to the Chargers. That's when you became a linebackers coach. So you were there in 21 and 22. Then they let you go after the 22 season, and you helped develop Kaiser White and now current chief Drew Tranquil. What kind of went through your mind in that moment? The Chargers just let you go. You helped develop two really good linebackers.
Reevaluate myself. Where did I go wrong? What did I say wrong? How can I be better? How can I be different? And that was it. Now take care of my family. How do I make sure I get my family in a good place? Make sure they're eating, make sure they're taken care of, make sure they're comfortable, and just bettering myself. And humbling experience, thankful it happened, thankful for the experience, has made me a better person, made me a better coach. And awesome opportunity coaching those guys there. I mean, that group, those guys you mentioned, and there's many more, phenomenal people. Those people helped me, inspire me. Drew made me better. Kaiser made me better. K9, Amen, Nick, all these guys, Cole, Deloy. I mean, it's a bunch of guys. And I loved it. I had a great time in LA with those guys. Thankful for the time I had and for the way it ended. Thankful for that as well.
Then Sean Payton would end up getting the head coaching job with the Denver Broncos, and he ended up bringing you with him to be his outside linebackers coach. What was last year like being in Denver? Because in Denver, you guys are like one of the Chiefs' biggest rivals. So what's it been like for you being in Denver so far?
I enjoy it. Again, I got good people to learn from. Sean's one of the best, one of the most successful. Another guy that ain't worried about likes. He worried about respect. He worried about being honest, genuine, and loving ball and being committed to it. Vance Joseph, the DC, again, another guy who wants the best for everybody, wants everybody to love the game, be connected to the game, and also be connected to your family. So again, thankful to be a part of organization full of good people that you can learn from, people that you can communicate with at a high level. And that's where I'm at right now, and thankful for it.
Vance Joseph, he was a former head coach as well. So you got good people above you that you could learn from. You said you just got back from the NFL Combine. What's the Combine like?
The Combine is an awesome experience. One, you're there working, so you're there evaluating young men and these young football players, and you're getting to know them. You're getting to understand where they're from, kind of hear their stories. You gain respect for them as humans, and equals and peers. Then on the other side of that, you get to introduce yourself and meet new coaches around the NFL and build a connection with them. And then even better, you get to see and meet and hang out with all the buddies that you've coached with at other places. And so the Combine is always fun. It's a great opportunity to meet new people, learn from the people you've been with, visit with them, hang with them. And so it's an awesome opportunity.
You're building connections.
Yes, sir.
That's that thing. You want to build connections to further your career. What are your goals coaching wise in the NFL?
To be the best I can be. Simple and plain. I want to be a great pro. I want to be a great leader for my guys. I want to be there for them. I want to push them. I want them to respect me. I want to respect them. I want to be a part of a great culture. I want to win games. And that's what I'm focused on. The picture don't get no bigger than that for me. If it does, it gets cloudy.
Do you want to stick to those things?
I think if that's the path that is set for me, then that's the path set for me. I'm not pushing for that. I'm not looking for anything else other than to be a great outside linebackers coach. That's what my title is. That's what I want to be. I think with that, other opportunities can and probably will arise. And when those things happen, we'll see where to go with that. But for right now, I just want to be great at being an outside linebacker coach. I want my guys to show up early, stay late. I want them to feel like we're doing the best drills in the world. I want them to feel like they're getting the answers they need. And I want them to feel like they can go play free and play fast. And if I can accomplish that, the rest will come with it.
Now, your linebackers you have right now, what do you like about them?
Tough. Pros. The guys I have right now, they're tough. They're professionals. They're talented. They're good people. They want to do right. They work hard at it. They care for one another. and they come to work. And that's all you can ask for. That's where the respect is. That's where the trust lies. And I love the room.
If you can go back in time and tell a younger version of yourself anything, what would you tell yourself?
Stay humble. Stay humble. Understand that highs, are going to come with lows, and lows are going to come with highs. And at the end of the day, God is in control of all, and everything will end up perfect. So stay humble, stay the course, stay the track, and just keep working. And know that ups and downs will come, and they work together, and it all will work out perfect.
I like that. What do you do in your free time when you're not coaching?
I read, I work out, I'm a father, husband, I'm a cousin, friend. That's what I'm doing. I'm on the phone on the way home with a buddy, my pops, with Kyle. I'm working out before I get in the car. I'm reading when I'm sitting here at night. And other than that, I'm working. I'm playing with the kids when I get home. And when we get off of this, I'm going to go hang out with the wife and eat dinner, late dinner.
What's for dinner tonight?
Lasagna soup.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see.
I seen Colin was in Colorado recently. Is he down in Colorado with you?
He was. He actually left to go back. He's got his pro day coming up, but he was out here training at a popular place here, and he was staying with us. And what a great opportunity to be around him and to hopefully push him a little bit and hang with him and just spend quality time with him. Not every day you get to do that.
All right. Well, Mike, I appreciate you coming on here this evening and sitting down and talking with me, catching up with you. I really did enjoy it.
Oh, man, this was awesome, Justin. I appreciate it. It's been a long time. I was telling my wife, I said, I'm going to get on a podcast with Justin Burkhardt. And she was like, well, who was that? And I went through our history, and, man, so it's great to talk to you. Glad you're doing well, man. And, anytime I can help you or we can connect and have a good conversation, I'm down for it.
Mike, I appreciate, me and you. We've known, like you said, we've known each other for a long time since you showed up to Highland Park that first year.
Yes, sir.
And being the ball boy on the football team and everything, and then always hanging out at Kevin's house and stuff. So I appreciate you, man.
Been awesome. Great talking to you for sure.
And good luck this year.
Appreciate you, Justin.
Yep.
All right, man. Later.
Yep. Hey, everybody. I just want to thank everybody that watched this episode of Catching Up with JB. Mike is a true friend of mine. He came to Highland Park back in 2004, and he was only at the school for 1 year. But he became really good friends with Kyle Weems. Now, my first episode was with Kyle Weems. But Mike became more than that. He's somebody that's kind of like a brother. And, on one of my darkest days when we laid Big Kev down, Mike asked me if I was okay. And that meant a lot to me. Mike's more than just a football player. He's also a person, and he cares about people. Mike played in the NFL for a few seasons, and just to see somebody go from Highland Park High School to Washburn to the NFL, that's truly a feat. Mike is a true definition of somebody that never gave up until he got to his ultimate goal. And he's still digging. He digs every day. I just want to tell everybody thank you for checking out another episode. And this week, I have 2 more episodes coming this week. I will have a former Highland Park football and basketball player and University of Texas San Antonio, Raphael Posey, on the show. And then I have a current Kentucky volleyball player, Brooklyn DeLay, coming on the show as well. So Y'all look forward to those 2 episodes and check this one out. I hope you really like this one. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my YouTube page, like my videos, and thank you guys.